There's a moment when you realize something unsettling. You've known someone for years, talked to them, laughed with them, maybe even trusted them, but deep down, you don't really know them. Not completely, because people don't reveal themselves in what they say. They reveal themselves in what they avoid. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Today, I'm going to show you 4 questions, simple on the surface, but if you truly understand them, you will start seeing people in a way most never do. People don't walk around showing who they are. They perform, they adjust, they filter, they protect. Not because they're fake, but because being fully seen is dangerous. So what do? They show you what's safe, what's acceptable, what keeps them in control. But underneath that, there's another version, a quieter one, a hidden one. And that's the version that actually makes their decisions, chooses their reactions, shapes their relationships. The problem is, you can't access that version by asking direct questions. If you ask someone, "Who are you?" they'll give you a story. But if you ask the right questions, you don't get a story, you get a glimpse of the truth. Question 1. What do they avoid? Here's the first question. What do they avoid? Not what they say they don't like, not what they complain about, but what they consistently move away from, without explanation. Because avoidance is never random, it's precise. Someone avoids deep conversations. They're protecting something. Someone avoids silence. They're afraid of what shows up when everything gets quiet. Someone avoids commitment. They've learned that closeness comes with a cost. Watch carefully. People don't just walk away from things, they walk away from feelings. And those feelings point directly to their inner world. For example, a person who avoids conflict might look peaceful, but underneath, they might carry a fear of rejection so strong, they'd rather disappear than be misunderstood. Another person avoids vulnerability. They joke, they deflect, they change the topic. It looks like confidence, but it's not. It's protection. Because somewhere in their past, being open didn't feel safe. So now, they avoid anything that might take them back there. And once you see this, you stop taking things personally, because their distance was never about you. It was about what they're trying not to feel. Now, here's where it gets deeper. Avoidance tells you what they run from, but the next question reveals what controls them. Question 2. What triggers them emotionally? Second question. What triggers them emotionally? Because people don't react strongly to random things. They react strongly to meaning, a small comment, a tone of voice, a simple situation. And suddenly, their entire energy shifts. Why? Because something deeper was touched. Something old, something unresolved. Watch for it. Someone gets defensive when you question them, even gently. That's not about the question. That's about a deeper fear of being exposed. Someone gets angry when they feel ignored. That's not about attention. That's about feeling invisible. Someone overreacts to criticism. That's not about the feedback. That's about identity. Because when something triggers a person, you're not seeing who they are in the moment. You're seeing what they've been carrying for a long time. And here's the truth most people miss. People don't react to you. They react to what you represent. You might represent rejection, or control, or abandonment, without even trying. And once you understand this, you stop trying to win arguments. You start understanding pain. Because every emotional reaction is a doorway, not to who they pretend to be, but to who they really are. Now you've seen what they avoid, and what triggers them. But there's something even more revealing. Something people expose without realizing it. Question 3. What do they admire or judge? Third question. What do they admire or judge in others? Because what a person notices in others is never random. It's a reflection. Someone constantly criticizes arrogance. Look closer. There's often a hidden struggle with their own sense of worth. Someone admires confidence, but feels uncomfortable expressing it themselves. Why? Because admiration often points to something they haven't allowed themselves to become. And judgment? Judgment reveals what they've rejected within themselves. A person who harshly judges emotional people may be suppressing their own emotions. A person who judges weakness may be terrified of their own vulnerability. It's projection, but not in an obvious way. In a quiet, almost invisible way. People reveal their inner conflicts through how they see others. So instead of asking, why are they like this? Ask, what does this say about them? Because every strong opinion is a mirror, and the more intense the reaction, the clearer the reflection. And now, the final question, the one that changes everything. Question 4. Who are they when no one is watching? Fourth question, who are they when no one is watching? Not the version they show online, not the version they show in public, not even the version they show you, but the version that exists in silence. Because that's the real one. What do they choose when there's no pressure to impress? How do they treat people when there's nothing to gain? What do they do when they're alone with their thoughts? That's where truth lives. Some people are kind when it's visible, but cold when it's not. Some people seem strong, but collapse when no one is there to see it. And others quietly become who they truly are when the world disappears. This is the hardest truth to accept. A person's real character is not built in public, it's revealed in private. And most people never see it, because they're too focused on appearances. But if you pay attention, if you observe patterns, not performances, you start to see clearly. And once you do, you don't need to guess anymore. So now you have the 4 questions. What do they avoid? What triggers them? What do they admire or judge? Who are they when no one is watching? Simple, but not easy. Because seeing people clearly means letting go of illusions. It means accepting that sometimes what you discover won't match what you hoped. But it also gives you something rare, clarity. And with clarity comes freedom. You stop chasing approval. You stop misunderstanding behavior. You stop taking things personally. Because now, you see, not just what people show, but what shapes them. And once you truly see someone, the question is no longer, who are they? The question becomes, what will you do with that understanding? If this made you see people differently, then you're already noticing what most miss. Stay with that awareness, because the more you observe, the more everything starts to make sense. And if you want to understand people and yourself on a deeper level, subscribe and stay on this journey with us.